Let's move on now to Tamil Nadu, where a war of words has again started in the state, and it's not just between the Tamil Nadu governor versus the Stalin government, but now the BJP hitting out at the DMK over their state secretary's arrest. BJP state president Annamalai has hit out at the DMK government in Tamil Nadu after the arrest of state secretary Surya, who according to the police was arrested for peddling fake news. However, Annamalai has hit out alleging that the DMK has arrested the leader for exposing their doublespeak. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin on Friday alleged that the BJP was not fighting its opponents electorally and insisted that the coming together of the opposition all over the country will be the final nail in its coffin. This after his minister Senthil Balaji was arrested by the ED and a dramatic sequence of events unfolded. He has now been allowed custodial interrogation by ED for 8 days, and the Tamil Nadu governor has said that he cannot continue as minister. This comes a day after Tamil Nadu minister Senthil Balaji was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate, and as we pointed out, a series of subsequent events, dramatic events followed.
There is no political, it is on a complaint based on a private player. Daily 10 people, at least 10 rowdies who belong to BJP are being arrested in this state.
He was the electricity minister and former transport minister, has been involved in major corruption in a cash for jobs scam. And being a minister, he has been threatening victims. After becoming the minister in May 2021, has been pulling strings to get rid of the case. Now, this is not a case that we wot about. This was a case in which the chief minister himself, when he was in the opposition, wanted the former transport minister Senthil Balaji arrested for corruption. Today, when he is a minister with DMK and has connections with the chief minister, a lot of exposure is going to happen.
All right, as you can clearly see that the war of words continues there in Tamil Nadu. Earlier, it was between the governor and the government, which continues in fact. And now it's also the government versus the BJP. Let me bring in our guest now, Narayan Tirupati, BJP Vice President from Tamil Nadu, joining us here on the show. Puhar Gandhi P, spokesperson of the DMK, Kovai Satyan, AIADMK spokesperson, and we are also being joined by Veera Raghav here on the show. Let me first go across to the BJP representative here, because Narayan Tirupati, a lot of allegations there have been made by your party with regards to the arrests that we have seen. The BJP is trying to take on the DMK, but many analysts continue to say that the BJP hardly has any significant presence in Tamil Nadu.
No, what does that got to have with this issue?
You are trying to act as the primary opposition. That is the question here. Whereas the AIADMK perhaps should be doing the same, your ally.
No, you mean to say there is no freedom of speech? BJP people should not speak because we don't have presence? People say that we don't have presence. It means that we should not speak. We are the largest party in the world. Not only in Tamil Nadu, throughout the world, we are the largest party. So our state secretary has tweeted something today, last week. He has tweeted a fact, which is a real fact, that a person who has gone into a sewage, he died of, the problems he had in there, and he was forced into the sewage by a CPM councillor in a place called Pennadam. And in Pennadam, he was forced to go there, and that is what our State Secretary S.G. Surya had tweeted. And after that, the chairman of National Commission for Safai Karmachari, he had also been there, and he has recommended a strong action to be taken on the councillor. He has forwarded it to the collector and also the SP of the district. This is what has happened, and Mr. Surya had tweeted. But he has asked the Madurai MP, Mr. Madurai MP, CPM MP, and Venkatesan, and he had asked him, but why you people have not spoken about this?
Okay.
Always you
Alright.
are speaking about this.
Okay,
Excuse
Veera
me, sir,
Raghav
let me
wants to
finish.
come in, sir. Just
No,
hear him
no,
out.
how can you? Let me finish. First,
Okay.
I will
All right,
just
go
tell
ahead.
you what had happened.
No, can we get to the issue on hand, Mr. Narayan Tirupati? What I'm asking you is specifically the allegations that have been made is one is the timing of the arrest, the manner of the arrest in which he was made to walk out, is an
Wait.
misuse of
Wait,
central
wait, wait.
agencies
Wait.
in this issue. What
No,
is
it
the
is not the
BJP's
issue, sir.
response to that?
This is not the issue. It is an issue of an arrest, illegal arrest by the government of Tamil Nadu, by the state police. We are talking about others. See, Mr. Surya is our state secretary who has tweeted a fact, and the government has arrested on a wrong, fake complaint by Mr. Venkatesan, the member of parliament from Madurai. And he was arrested in the midnight. There is no need for an arrest, and CRPC 41A, the notice was not given, the summons were not served. Yes, they have literally barged into the house. Yes, they have arrested him. And he has
So
been
are you
remanded.
saying one arrest justifies the other? Let me take it to the DMK as well, but are you saying one arrest justifies another? It started with the
what is
arrest of
this?
Mr.
See, that arrest of Senthil Balaji is nothing to do with this, because Senthil Balaji was a corrupt person. He is a corrupt person. The Supreme Court has directed the ED to investigate. Already ED was investigating. They only asked the ED to investigate. The Supreme Court asked the government to form a SIT, which the government has not done. So, by threatening BJP, which the Chief Minister, Mr. Stalin, yesterday said that he has intimidated. He has said it is a warning to BJP in Tamil Nadu that they are trying to arrest the ministers of DMK. So this is
Mr. Gandhi, let's take that across to Mr. Gandhi. Let's take it across to Mr. Gandhi. Mr. Gandhi, what is your response to this?
No, I don't know what Mr. Narayan Tirupati is speaking about. See, the issue today is whether the arrest of Mr. Senthil Balaji and also the spat between the governor and the state government. The issue here is, ever since
our state secretary has been arrested.
Your state secretary has committed a wrong thing, so he is arrested.
What wrong
That
thing?
is not a national issue, or that is not a state issue at all.
Issue.
That is a guy who
innocent person has been arrested by the police.
And for which he has been arrested. It is not the issue. The issue is
why? That is the issue.
The breach of democracy and the breach of federal issues which Tamil Nadu is facing
That is
currently.
what your government has done today.
Yeah, the government will do. That is for that purpose.
That is what your police has done today.
You guys are spreading. You guys are known for spreading lies and concocted stories with a view to only with a view to disturb the communal harmony. Then what should the government do? The government has to arrest.
That is
the issue of the government. But that is not the subject matter today.
So, Mr. Gandhi, Mr. Tirupati, Mr. Gandhi and Mr. Tirupati, can we take one issue at a time? Let us focus first on the Senthil Balaji arrest and the tussle between the governor and the chief minister. Can we ask this question on this, Mr. Narayan Tirupati? I'll put that question across to you. What is your response on that? The fact that there is a tussle.
See, Senthil Balaji is a corrupt person. He is definitely a hoarder. And Mr. Stalin has accused Senthil Balaji of all the crimes before 4 years. Now the same Stalin comes back and appoints him as a minister and says that this person is a pure gold. And he says he is a holy cow. That's what. But the Supreme Court has directed the ED to conduct inquiry with Senthil Balaji. The Supreme Court has asked the government to have a special investigation team to inquire into the corruption angle. He has taken money from people who had wanted jobs, conductor jobs or mechanic jobs. They have collected rupees 4 lakhs and 5 lakhs from ordinary people. And Senthil Balaji has done into PMLA, money laundering. That is what the ED says. So he has been arrested on the charges. What is your problem? Where is the is it unconscionable to arrest a person?
No, there is no.
All right.
Go ahead, Ma.
Let's go across to Kovai Satyan as well. Kovai Satyan, how do you see this? Do you connect the two arrests over here, Senthil Balaji and Surya, as a tit for tat? What is your take, considering that you have close ties with the BJP?
We are an ally. What do you mean by close ties? Very close ties. There is nothing called close ties and very close ties. We are ally and we are an NDA, and AIDMK is heading that ally in Tamil Nadu. As far as Senthil Balaji is concerned, please understand, he is a habitual scamster. He is not a Puritan. He is not a Deshpita who has fought for the nation, fought for the welfare of the people. He is a scamster who has swindled thousands and crores of rupees and repeated summons. He dodged appearing in front of the High Court, stating that he is a minister and he is busy in his work, and refused to receive the summons from ED. When Supreme Court direction has given an ultimatum of 2 months, he pleaded not to receive the summons of arrest and enacted a chest pain drama and went to the hospital now. And the entire cabinet, including the CM, is making a beeline to safeguard him because they are hand in glove in corruption, taking kickbacks of hundreds and thousands of crores from Senthil Balaji. And for DMK, coming and crying about corporate federalism, coming and talking about democratic rights is nothing but a big mockery. Anybody who opposes DMK, anybody who puts out a meme against DMK, can somebody have the decency not to interfere? Let me finish. Anybody who puts out a meme is arrested and remanded for 15 days in jail. It happened with our IT wing office bearer yesterday. He put out a meme on Stalin. He was arrested and remanded to 15 days of custody. And yesterday night it was BJP Surya. And CM and DMK people should hang their head in shame. What is banned in front of law? What is banned by the law? Manual scavenging is banned, and an ally, CPM councillor, is forcing a person to do a manual scavenging job, because of which he lost his life. And the allegation is Mr. Surya, SJ Surya of BJP, has misquoted the location. Instead of mentioning it as Kadalur, he has mentioned it as Madurai. They didn't deny that the manual scavenging job was done and the person lost its life. There is no action against that CPM councillor who alleged to have forced that person to do the job, which is banned in the eyes of the law. And there is no such action.
Let's take that to Mr. Gandhi.
Yes.
I mean, Mr. Gandhi, is it tit for tat? Why unnecessarily? I mean, when we talk of abuse of agencies or investigative powers, isn't this another issue? We pose the question that you asked. As far as Senthil Balaji is concerned, we pose that question to the BJP, but the question to the DMK is as far as this arrest is concerned.
First of all, let us not compare Senthil Balaji's arrest with a BJP functionary's arrest. Both are two different issues. As far as Senthil Balaji's case is concerned, let us understand the whole case. This case alleged to have happened in the year 2014 when Madam Jayalalitha was Chief Minister and Mr. Senthil Balaji was a minister in the ADMK government. And in 2018, an FIR has been registered by the then ADMK government under Mr. Edappadi Palanichami. In 2019, there was a compromise between the parties, and it is the Madras High Court which quashed this FIR. Subsequently, in the year 2021, when we came to power, the Supreme Court reversed the Madras High Court judgment and directed for an investigation to be completed within 2 months' time. That means the FIR stands restored. That is it. Our issue is not with respect to that. Our issue is the Supreme Court only said conduct an investigation and conclude the investigation within 60 days' time. That's it. But what has happened after that is the Enforcement Directorate raided the State Secretariat, raided the premises of Senthil Balaji in the Secretariat, that is the chambers of Senthil Balaji, and arrested him in the middle of the night. There is no reason for any arrest. The case was pertaining to 2014.
Okay.
This is our case. This directly goes against the federal principles of the country because Senthil Balaji is a sitting minister. Number one.
Okay, and Narayan Tirupati, was it necessary or was it even needed for the governor to come into the picture over here in this case as well, saying that he cannot continue as minister anymore?
Yes, it is the duty of the governor. The Supreme Court has very, very clearly said that Mr. Senthil Balaji should be interrogated. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Supreme Court never said Senthil Balaji should be interrogated.
The Supreme Court has very clearly said that he should be investigated, interrogated within 2 months. It has given to, it has asked
not
the
Mr. Gandhi, I'll come to you. You can clarify after that. I'll come to you.
And it has also said that if any let-up is there, Supreme Court had said that we will form our own team, our own SIT to investigate this.
But sir, Narayan Tirupati, he is an accused. He is not yet convicted in a case.
So what? So
at this rate, sir, many of the ministers will go. There are accusations against people, then other ministers will also go.
He was facing a charge sheet.
You tell him
And
he is
33
telling a lie.
And 33
Mr.
out of
Amit
70
Shah,
ministers in Mr. Modi's cabinet.
this lie has been, this rumor has been spread in Tamil Nadu. Sir, will you please keep quiet, sir? These people have been spreading this rumor right for the 2 days. Mr. Amit Shah had resigned. He has resigned in October.
Amit Shah,
and after 4 days only, he was arrested. He was not even arrested. Mr. Amit Shah surrendered himself into CBI office. You should understand this. Don't say any lie.
Okay, there was no charge filed against Mr.
Just,
Senthil Balaji.
I'll interrupt
This is
both of
only
you.
an
I'll go
FIR.
across to Veera
There
Raghav.
is a difference between FIR and
Veera, what is the constitutional position here? Can the governor step in a situation of this
He
nature?
can.
You see, as far as the
He
governor
cannot.
is concerned, if the governor has to act on the advice of the cabinet of the state, in any state that goes, and this has been written down categorically in several judgments of the Supreme Court. So this is not about that. The question is about taking it into a public spat. But I think the larger question here, Maha, is about abuse of agencies, whether it is central or state-run agencies. It's the question of abuse of agencies, which is the core of the allegation that the DMK is making. And that's where it's become a BJP versus DMK battle.
No, what is the allegation?
Even today, as far as the governor is concerned,
Sir, what is the allegation? The ED has got the right.
Governor,
That is
how
what it is
Kawadi's act
arguing
the
with
governor is doing?
given
What are the Kawadi's act
Please
governor is doing?
understand.
Governor is saying he is
What is
not
this?
agreeable for the continuation of
Okay.
Senthil Balaji.
No, Mr. Gandhi.
Of the governor. Does not
No, Mr. Gandhi,
government.
one needs to admit that there is a process. This was not a sudden case that was registered against Senthil Balaji. There was a process that was on in
No,
this
I'm
process.
talking about the governance
matter
issue.
is in
I'm
front
not-
of.
I'm talking
So,
about the governance
so
issue.
action against
The governor has no business.
action against
The
Senthil
government has no
Balaji per
business.
se. Action against Senthil Balaji per se cannot be considered or called. How can you call that a case of vendetta when the matter is asked per procedure? That's the argument the BJP is putting back at.
Exactly. We are also on that point. We are not against investigation of Mr. Senthil Balaji. You investigate him. You summon him. He will appear. But here the case is, he is a sitting state minister. What is the need for going into the secretariat? Assembly secretariat is like a union parliament, which has got its own sanctity. You cannot go with the armed guards to the secretariat and raid the chambers of Senthil Balaji. This is what we are objecting. What type
So
of
let's take that to
Mr.
Let's take that to the AIDMK Maha. The
Yes.
question of the way the procedure went through in terms of going to the secretariat, was that
Yes.
okay?
Kovai Satyan, the manner in which the arrest was made is something that the DMK is raising a point about over here.
Yeah, when the person from DMK is saying Senthil Balaji didn't run away, you summon him, he will appear for the investigation process. But please let me remind him, he is the person who dodged, who ran helter and skelter, and he didn't receive the summons nor he appeared for the summons. He went to the High Court and sought a direction from the High Court to squash his summons, citing he is a minister and he is busy in his work. And the observation of Supreme Court is, this entire episode looks like a match. We never know who is playing on which side. Because this person counsel goes on records and say, yes, I have received bribe and I have repaid and we have arrived. Mr. Gandhi, please, I didn't interfere when you speak. I can do that. Let's have the decorum. We are on a national media. And this person went to the Supreme Court. Their counsel says, yes, we have received bribe and we have repaid and we have arrived on a compromise. When the Corruption Act was invoked, and that's where the CCB failed to do. CCB is under the control of Mr. MK Stalin in 2021. He didn't appear for summons. So let's understand that he is a habitual scamster who takes law into his own hands. And yes, when they went to the secretariat, not by breaching the law, when the IT officials went to his place in Karur, they were manhandled and the lady's arm was broken, they were hospitalized. And they have the audacity to take the law into their own hands. The signal what they want to send it to this, we are ruling Tamil Nadu. Even central government agencies or anybody cannot step inside Tamil Nadu without our consent, and we will take the law into our hands.
Just hold on to your thoughts there. Let me go across to Sam Daniel. Just a second, Mr. Kovai Satyan. Just a second. Let me go across to our correspondent who's joining us live now, Sam Daniel. Sam, has there been any specific clarification from the governor's office as to why they have stepped in this matter, asking for Senthil Balaji not to continue as minister?
In the first place, before Senthil Balaji was arrested on the 31st, after the Supreme Court directed the state government to go ahead with investigation and also gave its nod to the Enforcement Directorate to proceed with the investigation over money laundering. At that point in time, he wasn't arrested, but the governor still wrote to the Chief Minister asking him to drop Senthil Balaji, saying it may not be at that point in time tenable. But immediately MK Stalin shot back, saying he's only facing accusations or allegations and there's no need for him to step down. He also cited various precedences. But after he was arrested, when MK Stalin, the Chief Minister, wrote to the governor reallocating his portfolios to two other ministers and chose to retain him as a member, as a cabinet member without any portfolio, the governor said he doesn't agree with that. But the ruling DMK argues that the governor doesn't have any say in the choice of ministers. It's completely the chief minister's prerogative, and immediately they also passed a government order retaining Senthil Balaji as a minister without any portfolios. And in this case, MK Stalin has stood his ground, but it certainly raises questions in terms of moral propriety. Whether is it okay for a person who has been arrested to continue as minister? Will it lead to any possibility of tampering or destruction of evidence, as the Enforcement Directorate claims? As we speak now, Senthil Balaji continues to be in the hospital and armed with an order from a Chennai court. The Enforcement Directorate also is trying to take him under custody right in the hospital so that they could interrogate him for 8 days as the court has permitted them. But many questions, because at the same time the Madras High Court has allowed Senthil Balaji to go ahead with the bypass surgery as recommended by doctors. Will doctors allow him to be questioned? So these are questions, whether the DMK will challenge it legally or would he be in a condition to undergo the interrogation. That's something we'll have to wait and watch.
All right.
But at the moment, certainly Stalin seems to have stood his ground, but many questions being raised by the opposition on the moral propriety over his continuation as a minister without a portfolio.
All right, many thanks, Sam, for joining us with all those details.